During the lively summer fair that every year enlivened the streets of a small hilltop town, Clara walked hand in hand with her daughter Sophia. The little girl, just 5 years old, had long blonde hair and blue eyes that shone with joy as she looked at the colorful stalls and listened to the music that filled the air. Clara, excited to be able to share that family tradition with her daughter, let herself be carried away by Sophia's enthusiasm, feeling grateful to live that special moment. Before continuing, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our stories. "Mom, look at the ice cream cart," Sophia shouted, pulling Clara's hand toward a colorful cart selling cones and cups. Laughing, Clara agreed and they set off together toward the sweet smell of freshly served ice cream. But just as they were about to reach the cart, something caught Clara's eye. A few meters away, a little girl who seemed to be a perfect copy of Sophia was happily running through the crowd. Clara stopped suddenly, feeling her heart pounding in her chest. "It can't be," she muttered to herself while Sophia looked at her confused. "Mommy, what's wrong?" asked the little girl. Clara, trying to hide her anxiety, replied, "Nothing, honey. Let's go get our ice cream." But the image of that little girl, identical to Sophia, continued to torment her, making her feel more and more uncomfortable. After getting her ice cream, Clara looked around the crowd for the mysterious girl, but to no avail. However, her search led her to notice a woman with a familiar appearance standing next to a toy stand. The woman also seemed to be looking for someone, and her face reminded Clara of something distant yet close. Determined to find out more, Clara approached the woman. "Hi," she said with a kind smile. "Sorry to bother you, but do you have a daughter by any chance?" The woman, a little surprised by the question, said, "Yes." "Yes, her name is Julia," she said, pointing to a little girl who was just then walking back toward her, clutching a colored balloon. Clara held her breath as she saw the little girl, who was identical to Sophia. "It's incredible. My daughter's name is Sophia, and they look like twins," Clara exclaimed, trying to remain calm. The woman, who introduced herself as Marta, seemed equally surprised. "It's really strange," Marta said, scrutinizing Clara and Sophia's features. "I've never seen such a strong resemblance between two little girls who aren't related." They decided to move away from the crowd to talk more quietly. They found a secluded bench where they could watch their daughters play together, unaware of the tension that was building between their mothers. "I don't have many relatives," Clara said, answering a question from Marta, "and I don't know much about my family history. My parents were pretty reserved." Marta nodded and replied, "I have few family ties myself. I grew up moving from town to town with my aunt after my mother died. I never knew my father, and my family didn't talk much about the past." As they continued to talk, Clara couldn't ignore the growing feeling that there was a connection between them. "Do you think there might be some connection between our families?" Clara asked, voicing her thoughts. Are you enjoying this story? Before you see how it ends, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Marta was silent for a moment, then replied, "I don't know, but I can't get this coincidence out of my head." Just then, Sophia and Julia returned, laughing and showing off their balloons. The two women exchanged a look full of understanding and decided to investigate further. The next day, Clara returned home and began searching through old family photographs, hoping to find some clues. After hours of searching, she found a photo that made her jump. It was of her mother, Lucia, as a young woman, next to another woman Clara had never seen before. On the back of the photo was written, "Lucia and Bianca, Summer 1985. Without wasting any time, Clara called Marta and asked her to meet in a quiet coffee shop. When they saw each other, Clara showed Marta the photo. "This is my mother," she said, "and this woman next to her is called Bianca. Do you recognize her?" Marta looked carefully at the photo and shook her head. "I'm not sure, but she looks like my mother." At that point, Clara took out an old diary that belonged to her mother and began to read a few pages out loud. To their surprise, they discovered that Lucia and Bianca were sisters, but that they had been separated as children because of a family feud. The families had clashed over inheritance and property management, a conflict that had led to the forced separation of the sisters to protect them from further conflict. Bianca had been sent to live with a distant aunt to keep her safe, while Lucia remained with her parents, never seeing her sister again. Marta, moved, remembered that her mother had mentioned something about a lost sister, but had never wanted to go into detail. "Do you think our mothers were really sisters?" asked Marta, her eyes filled with emotion. "It's possible," Clara replied, "and that would explain why our daughters look so much alike. Maybe they are cousins." The two women decided to investigate further, following the traces left in the letters that Clara had found with the diary. The letters told a story of separation, but also of an unbreakable bond between Lucia and Bianca, which had never been broken despite the distance. One of the letters spoke of a man named Federico, described as the person responsible for the feud that had divided the two families. After searching for him for a long time, they found Federico, now elderly. He confirmed the truth. "Your mothers were sisters," he confessed, "but because of the rivalry between our families, they were forced to separate. Lucia stayed to try to save what was left of the family, while Bianca was sent away to protect her from conflict." Clara and Marta remained silent, absorbing the truth they had just discovered. "And now?" asked Clara. Federico smiled sadly and said, "Now it is up to you to rebuild what has been destroyed. You have the opportunity to reunite your families." The two women looked at each other with determination. They decided to honor the memory of their mothers by telling the whole truth to Sophia and Julia, so that the past would never be forgotten and the future could be built on solid foundations based on love and reconciliation. With lighter hearts and a new hope, Clara and Marta prepared to write a new chapter of their lives, determined to create a tradition of unity and peace for future generations. Did you like this story? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching the video till the end, and see you next time.